up, everybody? Welcome back to a Six-Man Blitz episode. Got my co-host with me today, Mr. Ryan Wynn. We ready to break down some playoff basketball? How you feeling today, man?
Feeling all right, man. The Lakers got spanked yesterday, but it's all good. We'll get into it.
Oh, yeah,
Feeling good though.
you still guys are up comfortably. Um,
Yeah.
One question I had for you, NFL wise, what were your thoughts on the Bears draft? How do you think they did?
I think we did decent, man. I like the new kid, the safety.
Yeah,
Whenever you
limit
can
his
add
guys.
somebody, yeah, whenever you can ask somebody to run a 4.3 40, I mean, you gotta do it. So we'll see what it pan out like. I was pretty surprised and like I think we grabbed like another tight end. I was pretty shocked by that, but it's Ben Johnson. So what do you expect?
Yeah, the player's good, but just the value's kinda interesting. The receiver we took was kinda crazy too, but all across the board, we got good players. I think we filled enough of the needs. The one lingering question is still about edge, but I think this team
Pass
overly
rusher.
I think we got better.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting to grab a pass rusher, even if we like traded up or something. We didn't, but I like the safety. But we definitely need a edge still. Something,
Oh, yeah.
somebody.
I think they'll probably pick up somebody in free agency or via trade coming soon.
Yeah,
So stay tuned for that. But I think it was like a B plus draft. I think Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson got some nice guys. For the NBA question I had before we start, Doc Rivers got fired or retired, however we want to gloss over it. Do you think he's a Hall of Fame coach or is he an overrated coach?
I think he is overrated. Yes, but he is a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, he coached for 20 plus years. He's got a championship with a really good Celtics team, couple finals appearances. He's had success as a coach. One of the knocks on him is him not having enough success or maybe not making enough adjustments through playoff series. But you got to give him his flowers. He did get the chip. He got it done at least once. So he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, with the Celtics and stuff. Funny guy too. With the media interviews and stuff. I think he is a good coach. I think he's done enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But in terms of being one of the greatest coaches in basketball, I think he falls short of that.
He like DeMar DeRozan of the coaches.
Yeah.
If DeMar
uh
DeRozan had a chip, he'd be Doc Rivers.
For real, if he won a chip with like Toronto or like one of these teams that he was been on, definitely not in the later stretch of his career. But let's get into some NBA playoff talk. Let's break it down. I'll give you a series and you tell me the grade and your thoughts on the series so far. Let's start off with OKC Phoenix. Probably F, right?
I would say a D. And I feel like we expected this. It might be a D or F for them all the way through the Western Conference Finals at the end of the day. Just not the funnest series to watch. Suns ain't really putting up too much of a fight. OKC's missing their second best player, and they're still, doing it with ease. So yeah, I give it a D.
Yeah, and I think Dylan Brooks, he's provided some intrigue, but they've been getting clapped in every game. My question to you is though, like, how do you feel about how the Thunder play basketball? I thought things would be a little tougher, but you still see them, the foul baiting and all that shit. You think that makes it less interesting too?
I think what I think where it's frustrating is how physical. It's not the fact that they get the whistles, like that's not an issue. It's the fact that the other teams don't.
Yeah.
And the fact that other teams aren't able to play as aggressive on defense as they are. They're allowed to get in you, pause. They're allowed to, scratch, bite, claw. They're allowed to do all that stuff, and they don't get called as often as other teams. I think if everybody's on the same playing field and allowed to play with the same physicality, it's fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I think so too, and that's a big part of it. I've even seen Chet, Jared, those guys. Some of these plays, it's like leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. Um,
Right.
so I would say,
Pause.
yeah, yeah, a D is pretty, right where it's at. With that, Damn. That's the grade I would give it for this series. Your series with your favorite team, Lakers versus Houston. What grade do you give this series? They're up 3-1.
I I give this one a B. Um, they're up 3-1. That's not why I'm giving it a B. It's been a pretty interesting series. Outside of the last game, the first couple of games were pretty interesting to watch. Like the fashion in which the Lakers won in game 3, like that was like an
LeBron went crazy.
all-time game. The fact that they were down 6 with 20 some seconds left, came back and won, like there was something about that. The fact that you in game 2, you got KD versus LeBron again. Like that's awesome. So like this series has been pretty entertaining to watch with the exception of game 4, which was last night.
Yeah, that game, yeah, the Rockets. It was one of those games where they were gonna just, come out last game at home
Pride.
for Houston. Yeah, there was some pride. But LA, game 5, it's over for them. I think.
Yeah, it's
Um,
alright.
especially with KD laughing and shit on the bench and stuff. It seems like this Rockets team's waiting to be put out their misery. But there's been some intrigue in this series. Really like what Luke Kennard's been able to do. Some really dominant performances. Marcus Smart too.
Marcus Smart.
Bronny James and LeBron have made, history together. First father-son assist in, NBA history in the playoffs. So there's been enough intrigue, and just seeing LeBron play to this level, something we should not take for granted, man. I mean, he's just been fantastic. Austin Reeves, I think, is going to be good for game 5, but you should let him wait. Let him rest.
Let him Nah, man, I'm tired of seeing Jake LaRavia checking the game. So if we could get Austin back and limit his minutes, let's do it. Come on.
Jake LaRavia, man. He was either gonna kill you or either gonna make you happy, and he's been on the wrong side of that.
Yeah.
So I agree. There's been enough intrigue in this series. I give it a B. Spurs vs Portland. Scoot had a good
Mm.
game, but then he, went back to playing ass.
I'll give this one a C. This one's been a pretty interesting series, but there's Portland has no chance. The fact that Wemby sat out and Portland couldn't get it done, like I thought that that was their chance to extend the series. I think this one's going to be pretty much wrapped up here at the next game.
Oh yeah, Devin Harper had a masterclass off the bench.
Yeah,
Castle was great. So it's nice to see these young guys get these moments to step up. Even Scoot having a big game, game 2, or the game Wemby was out. But still, yeah, the Spurs are the better team. They're gonna cruise to a matchup potentially with the Timberwolves. Excited about that. So I give this series probably a C, C plus at most. Um, Denver versus Timberwolves. What's your thoughts on this series? I think this is an intrigue.
I'm gonna give this an A. This
Yeah.
to me this has been the best series to watch. I mean, the Nuggets were favored in games 1 through 3. Maybe even game 4 they were favored, and they're down 3-1. Now it's interesting. Ant-Man's out. DiVincenzo tore his Achilles. Prayers to him. He's out. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. I think that this series is far from over. It
Yeah.
looks like Minnesota might have a chance to win it, but the fact that there will be no Ant-Man the rest of the series, we'll see what happens. It gets really interesting tonight, but I give this one an A. This has been one of my favorite to
Mm.
watch.
Nice to see the people that have stepped up in the series. I think
Yes.
Minnesota, I've said, they have probably the best role players in the NBA. Jaden McDaniels hasn't averaged 20, like I said, but his impact as a menace has went just as far.
He's a dog. What do you say? Aaron Gordon don't play defense. Nikola Jokic don't play. Jamal
Everybody
Murray
bad
don't play defense.
defenders.
Tim Hardaway. He giving everybody he's naming them by first and last name. He backing it up though. And shout out to
Uh-huh.
IO. Bulls got fleeced on another trade. IO looking like an all-star, man.
It's crazy. He's on his a team friendly contract still. The funny thing is too, I saw a lot of people after the game like, "Oh, I didn't know Io was this cold until he came over here." I'm like, "Io's been like this,
He been
but
killing. Yeah, he been a
we just
killer.
haven't seen it at that level." So yeah, he just went God mode as soon as DiVincenzo and Ant went down. Yeah, and it gives you hope that they can, beat Denver because they just have that mentality over them. Jaden McDaniels has been able to do on Jamal Murray in stretches and games. And then Gobert, I think he's probably been the MVP of the series with how he's been. He hasn't
Yeah.
scored much, but defensively, he's been there.
Clamping Jokic, man. Like I said, tonight is gonna be a talent. I think Denver wins tonight, so Minnesota better close it out in 6 because there's no way to win a game 7.
It's at Denver too, no?
Yes, Denver
Okay.
tonight.
Yeah, they definitely have to close it out for the home crowd in Minnesota. So I think Denver plays with some pride tonight and gets a victory. Moving on to the East, Orlando versus Detroit, the battle of Angel Reese.
This series a A, man. It's a A because the A seed is up 2-1, and they got the next game here, I believe, tonight at home. Orlando has it at home, so Detroit better win. Detroit better win
Yeah.
because they not coming back from 3-1. They don't have the experience to come back from 3-1. They were in the playoffs last year for, like, the first time. They better win tonight, but this series has probably been the 2nd or 3rd best to watch out of all of them. It's been really entertaining.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed, the series seeing I mean, even Wendell Carter Jr., we see him, what he was able to do the last game, 17 rebounds, 14 points. But yeah, you see Detroit and you're thinking, yeah, they need another guy. They should have got another guy. Jalen Duran, what he's been in this postseason in this first round has been
He ain't
very
been doing
disappointing.
nothing.
He might end up a Chicago Bull in free agency. The Pistons, like, you can't play like this. I sent you a TikTok where it's like, oh yeah, Jalen Duran still trying to get that max contract. Not happening, bro.
Yeah, they better come with it tonight, man. I'm looking forward to seeing who gonna pull it off, man. But Detroit is in trouble if they lose tonight.
Oh yeah, big trouble. I give it like yeah, B plus, almost a A. Really intriguing series. The next two East series, I feel like have been peak. I mean, both teams have responded. You look at New York versus the Hawks,
Atlanta,
and then you have Toronto versus Cleveland. Both of these series, I give it A. Which one of these two has been your favorite? Both 2-2.
both a A in my opinion. I'm going to say the one that's been more interesting is not yeah, the Hawks versus the Knicks. Um, The reason why is the Cavs in the Toronto, it hasn't been like a high scoring affair. It hasn't been like the sexiest to watch, if you will. Whereas the Knicks and Hawks has been a lot of offense. It's been a lot of
CJ
games
McCollum.
coming down to the wire. Games are coming down to the wire. In the other series, they really haven't been doing it like that. The Hawks and Knicks is probably the best series right now, in terms of competitiveness, the games coming down to the wire, just the storyline, like the media storylines, like this is the series to tune into right now.
Yeah, and just like watching the first 5 minutes the other day of the Hawks Knicks game, and it's like you feel the intensity. Like this is like playoff basketball, guys jumping on the floor for the ball and stuff. Like you feel that right away. It's crazy, I seen a report today saying Mike Brown make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, his job's still on the line.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they fired Tibbs, who got to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Knicks' expectations was to surpass that, like finals or bust this year. The Celtics were supposed to have a down year. Obviously, the Pacers have a down year. The Cavs are inconsistent, so this was supposed to be the Knicks' fairy tale this year, and it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been disappointing with that. The last final series in the East, Boston versus Philly. Now the Sixers let me down. Embiid came back. This is crazy. Like I had took a nap. I woke up and I saw Embiid was playing. I was like, what the fuck? Out of nowhere. And they just completely fell apart. It seemed like Embiid coming into the lineup really slowed things down for everybody else. And Peyton Pritchard, bro. 32 points. It was disappointing,
Yeah,
man.
man. This series, I give it a D plus. It Even if Embiid didn't play, they're still not better than the Celtics, man. Like there's nothing they can do. They got lucky with I think game 2 when they won game 2 in Boston.
Yeah.
Embiid is not the reason that they lost the game. If Embiid wasn't there, they probably would have lost by 50. So, give credit where credit's due. The Celtics are just going to the finals, man. They're like that.
Yeah. That's what it seems like. Especially when they get, production from other guys. Derek White, he's been shooting terrible this playoff series, but the impact he's made defensively, hustling for the loose balls and stuff. So providing that impact, yeah, I give the series D, C, like around that range. So your favorite series this first round was Atlanta, the Knicks, right, or Minnesota, Denver?
The best to watch has been the Knicks versus Atlanta, but my personal favorite is Denver versus Minnesota
Yeah.
because I love watching Jokic lose. Ooh, I love it.
Hey, it's
I
hate
enjoy it.
watching for Jokic is at an all
Yeah,
time, and he
yeah.
crashing out and shit. He shoulda got it,
Yeah.
suspended for the next game, bro, choking motherfuckers.
They ain't gonna do that. But yeah, man, look, it's fucked up, excuse my language, but if the Lakers were playing the Nuggets, all the shots that Jokic missing and Aaron Gordon missing and Jamal Murray missing, all of them going in versus the Lakers. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. They just throw stuff up on the Lakers and they go in. Versus Minnesota, good luck.
Dude, and I start to think, does Minnesota have that, like, that dark cloud over Denver because
They
they
do.
just have that it's just that matchup you don't wanna see because you know it could go get dicey and go the other way.
Yeah, they do. They have the dark cloud. Denver knows it. But without Ant-Man in the lineup, it's gonna be challenging. Not from a
Yeah.
starter standpoint, but just the lack of bench depth that they're going to struggle with tonight. So I think Denver wins big tonight.
I think though at Minnesota, game 6, Bones Highland, the role players for Minnesota get going, and it's a game that they are
Okay.
able to steal away. Because that's another guy that got to step up. Terrence Shannon Jr. We haven't seen too much from him, but he's somebody that can make an impact. Him and Ayo, both guys from Illinois, heroes from our area. Both
Yeah.
guys could get going. And yeah, Rudy just playing another great game. And just yeah, like we said about the Jokic hate watch, kind of makes you think. And as good as Jokic is, him getting exposed to this level, you see how poor of a defender he is. But then when he's not on it, like offensively, he's having games where he's 8 for 20, 0 points in the fourth quarter, one ejection. Like that's what he's putting up in a must win game. Makes
Hey,
you
that's
think.
just that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, my boy.
So yeah, I had done a video where I was like, I don't know if he could be in best player in the world conversations. Or you're not going that far.
I read or I seen someone make a point. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Nick Wright, but they were saying that you can't be the best player in the world and get booted and not make the finals like however many years in a row. Like all the greatest players from Bird to Magic to Kobe to LeBron to anybody to Mike Jordan, like all of them were making the finals consistently throughout their career. They didn't take long lapses. The moment LeBron stopped making the finals, they weren't calling him the best player in the world. It was Giannis. Giannis stopped making the finals, they gave it to Jokic. Like you gotta win.
That's true. And yeah, guys are stepping up. Whoever is able to, I mean, Wemby, if he could get to the Western Conference Finals, they give the Thunder some go. You kind of get him up there in that conversation, and too, if he's able to get back and they can move forward. Tatum, I think he's somebody that deserves a lot more credit than he gets because, I mean, coming back off his injury, he's been fantastic. I mean, the Sixers killer, bro. Like he's a big reason why the Sixers haven't been
Yeah.
able to find more success in the playoffs. So yeah, I agree with that point. What's been some other big takeaways you've had for round one in the playoffs so far?
Well, like you said, Rudy's been like a really good stand-up guy in the Minnesota Denver series. I didn't anticipate Jokic playing as bad as he's been playing.
Me either.
So I'll give credit to him. One person and one takeaway that I got in terms of disappointment is Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, he's been terrible.
Luckily they won the last two games, but they have no chance versus Cleveland if Brandon Ingram continues to play as bad as he's been playing. Like he has not been able to put the ball in the basket. Yesterday, he missed a wide open layup. Now he did finish the first half off of like 8 straight points, so I was happy to see that. But he's shooting like 20 some 30% from the field.
Tour
Like
dates.
you can't do that and win. You can just can't. He has to be better
And he's been great all regular season. But
all season.
what's helped the Raptors is how good Scotty Barnes has been and how good RJ Barrett. He's actually been really good this postseason too for him. So they were able to steal games in Toronto. I think they stole a game in Cleveland too. Keeping things a little kind of close. But James Harden, if him and Donovan Mitchell go crazy again, yeah, they're gonna squeak out of this series probably in six.
Yeah, and another lever that I like to talk about when we're talking about playoff basketball is you set a standard. All regular season, your average is a standard. When you're in the playoffs, you cannot dip below that standard. So Jokic, for example, in the regular season, he averaged like 28 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, maybe 13 rebounds and 11 assists. Now I think he's averaging like 25, like 10 and 7 or something. Like those are good numbers, but you can't dip below what your averages
No.
are. And the greatest players of all time, when it's playoff time, their numbers go up, not down.
Yeah. Even it just makes the situation look worse if you are just basically a dominant offensive player, and yeah, you see that offensive production dip. It's a bad watch. So yeah, and I even seen the Raptors head coach be like, "Oh, Scotty Barnes is one of the best players in the NBA." I was like, "Oh no, he's been hooping. He's been good though. I think he's averaged like 25 a game this postseason." One of the big bright spots. I think out of people that I think been the most surprising, like an MVP level performance, I'll give it to Scotty Barnes for how good he's
Okay,
been.
I like it. You want to talk about MVP performance, man? I'm gonna give it to the Los Angeles Lakers, like LeBron James, like the head of the snake, but the LA role players. The
Mhm.
LA role players have been so amazing. Like starting with Marcus Smart, who's been like my MVP of the Lakers, even ahead of LeBron, just because of his impact on the defensive end and passing the ball. Luke Kennard has been knocked down. Rui Hachimura has been playing lights out. Jackson Hayes bringing energy off the bench with the exception of last game, which I feel like they just gave that game away, like whatever we're seeing at home, the LA Lakers role players have been just amazing to watch.
It is nice seeing those guys get active and just Jake LaRavia, man. But if you get Luca Reeves back, yeah, I think that'd be my next question for you. If your guys get back healthy, Luca and Reeves, how do you feel about a matchup against OKC? They're gonna be fully rested.
I feel honestly, I feel really good, and I'll tell you why I feel really good. OKC is going to be without Jalen Williams.
Yeah, J
Now,
Dub.
why is that important? Everybody says OKC is a well-oiled machine and they play the same no matter who's in the lineup. But let me tell you what happens if Jalen Williams isn't in the lineup versus the Lakers. He is responsible for guarding LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Who guards LeBron now?
Lou Dort tripping ass.
No, Lou Dort gotta guard Luka. Lou
Oh
Dort
yeah.
gotta guard Luka. Now, if you telling me Lou Dort on LeBron, then I don't want no smoke. I don't want no problems. But Lou Dort has to guard Luka. So who guards LeBron now? Chet? I don't
That's
know.
barbecue
Who?
chicken. I'm taking that
That's
matchup.
so that's going to be the issue, and that's where I think Jalen Williams brings the most value to that team when you're matched up against the Lakers is on the defensive end because he can match LeBron's his speed, his physicality, his athleticism. Like he can match that on defense. Whereas without Jay Will in the lineup, only Lou Dort can do it in the starter lineup.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that matchup. I think, yeah, if the Luca, I know Reeves is probably going to be back for the Houston series at some point. Yeah, if you could get Luca back game two, game one,
We need
yeah,
one.
yeah, you need
One.
him one. I think
Otherwise,
you.
what's the point of him going to Spain? Why he go
That's true.
overseas? They said it's supposed to speed up his recovery. Like, no,
That shit
why
late,
he in Spain?
turned it
Yeah,
longer.
yeah, it's been 4 weeks. They said the injury was like 3 to 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, but if he goes to Spain, they're supposed to cut it in half, which that's 2 to 3 weeks. It's been 4. Where you at?
Reeves has been faster, to be honest, and people thought he was going to come back later.
Luca, where you at? We miss you. We need you. Come
So
on.
I'd give the Lakers a shot. I think it'd probably go 6 games,
For
seven
sure.
games. So it'll be a fun series to watch. Seeing LeBron go against OKC and just being the chess match. I mean, because how good he's been at like with the matchups, maximizing the guys, elevating the guys around him too in the series against Houston. It's been nice to see. Another matchup that I'm interested in your thoughts on: Minnesota. Do you think they could get past? Denver without Ant, and then how do you think they fare against the Spurs until Ant gets back?
Can they get past Ant? Or can they get past Denver without Ant? Yes, they can because they got a 3-1 lead, but
Just one
they
game.
can't get past Wemby. There's no way they're getting past Wemby without Ant-Man.
He's
They can't do
multiple
it.
weeks. I think. I think he could come back in the series at some point.
I honestly would pick a healthy Minnesota team over the Spurs, but
Me
you
too.
telling me Ant-Man ain't gonna be there, I don't see them beating the Spurs without Ant-Man.
How
But
do you
they can
think?
beat Denver.
Yeah, I think they could get by Denver. You think they can make it close enough for him to return? Like, or could they be on the brink of a sweep?
I don't think the Spurs would sweep Minnesota even without Ant-Man. I think Minnesota's a more respectable team even without Ant. Like they got Jay McDaniels, they got Io, they still got Rudy Gobert, guard, and they got Julius Randle. They're still a good team, and I think they can get a game without Ant, but that's it. That's it. It'll be over in 5 without Ant-Man.
You
With
need
Ant-Man, it can go 7.
you need Julius Randle to be elite. You need him to step up and Io to be what he was with 43 points, maybe 30 points. But defensively, I think they're a tougher match for the Spurs and Portland has been. I think they have more scoring. Chris Finch is a pretty good coach. So it just, yeah, what version of these role players am I going to get? I think they could
And
steal one game. But yeah.
And another issue with the Julius Randle thing is Julius Randle is at his best when he's attacking downhill, going to the basket. There ain't nothing else you gotta say. Wimby down there, ain't none of that. It's over. Um, it's there's no chance. But Ant-Man, if Ant-Man is healthy and available, if he could go to Spain and speed up his recovery, uh, they got a shot. They
Yeah,
can beat. Oh, they can beat
yeah.
Denver.
I think so too. Will be interesting to see the Frenchman versus Frenchman matchup. How do you think Rudy fares in that one?
Or he gonna get cooked. Cause Wemby got too much shake. Like Jokic is all slow, he methodical, he like molasses.
Yeah,
Wemby is a whole different animal. Wemby
different
got
athlete.
shake. He running fast, he going between the legs behind the back, he's spinning like them two different types of beasts right there.
Yeah, I think so too. It's different defensive matchup, but I will say Rudy has redeemed himself and earned all the accolades he has with this series. I think Hall of Fame, him being a Hall of Famer. I think Bill Simmons was like, "Is he a Hall of Famer? No question. This guy's a Hall of Famer."
I think that if Minnesota matches up with the Spurs, I honestly think they might put like McDaniels on Wemby because you got a better chance with McDaniels guarding him than Rudy because how he can move his feet. Like if you're watching the Portland series right now, they're not putting Klingon on Wemby. They're putting Kamara and Drew Holiday on Wemby. Drew Holiday is my height. He like 6'2", 6'3", and he guarding Wemby. And he's doing a decent job on him, but you don't I don't think Rudy can match up with that Frenchman. I don't.
That I think is smarter. You like even Nas Reed off the bench, having him, and then
Yeah.
having Gobert in the paint, just ready for him to attack. So yeah, I think that's a good way. I think yeah, if Ant could come back game 4, game 5, I give the Timberwolves a chance, and that's a really damn good series once he comes back. And I think they have the role players to keep it close. They just gotta be at their best. It's playoff basketball. Um, but moving towards a disappointing team, one question I forgot to ask you: who's been the most disappointing player this postseason? You think?
I said Brandon Ingram,
Okay. Oh yeah.
which I really just don't know like what he's doing, but I will say this. The series is tied 2-2.
Okay.
So I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna say Kevin Durant is the most disappointing player. He's
It's
only
a
played one game in the
yeah.
series. He played 78 regular season games, meaning he missed 4 games in 6 months of basketball. And he's already missed 3 playoff games, which is basically matching what he missed all season. And the one game he played, he was solely responsible for them losing in the second half with 9 turnovers. So it's been unfortunate that KD is, I'm saying his name right now. And if he sees this clip ever, he'll probably reply saying I ain't shit, but I'm just being honest.
Hey, you ain't personally attacking him. Wait,
I'm
you
not
know what I
KD.
mean?
I really like you. I really love you, KD, honestly. But
That's the difference. You know what I mean? We could call out the game, but if we going out here saying, "Hey, I think his leadership's fucking up the
yeah,
locker
I ain't
room,"
say he was
then
ashy.
that
I ain't say he was ashy. I'm just saying, I think Kevin Durant has been disappointing. Someone would say, well, he can't control being hurt and all that jazz, whatever. But he could have controlled that game that he played. And if they
yeah,
would have won that game, the series would be tied 2-2
looks different. Yeah, the
instead
series
of
looks
3-1. It looks different. And all they needed from Kevin Durant in that game was for him to not have 9 turnovers. It's so easy. They're double teaming. Just pass the ball to the open guy. Like, it's not hard, but whatever.
forcing things, yeah, trying to be a hero and shit. So yeah, that's a good answer. I would probably stick with the Jalen Duran one. Definitely, I think he's losing himself some money. His agent's probably like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this?" uh, but moving on to one disappointing series, we gave this shit a D. Sixers for Celtics. What do you think the path for the Sixers is moving forward? I know Nick Nurse right now reportedly is coaching for his job. How does this team move forward? Is the process dead? All that.
I think that we'll see something shake up this summer. I think Joel is gonna be gone. Um, it's unfortunate because we couldn't see him in a full playoff series, but I could see Joel going to like the Warriors or something like that, like teaming up with Steph, maybe send Porzingis and somebody else to um Philly. I think that's a better fit for Philly anyway to have Porzingis instead of Joel. That way you can play through Maxey and VJ, and not have to play through Joel anymore. And then Steph Curry gets his big man that he's needed since 2015 when Bogut left.
Him and Draymond would be interesting. I like that.
I think that's the best case scenario for Joel Embiid and the 76ers get like Porzingis instead of Joel.
I seen the Rockets are a team that's going to be interesting. Interested in Kawhi, Joel, all these different players this offseason, depending on how things shake up in their series. Um, But yeah, it's sad to see Joel Embiid, what it's been. Honestly, I've been one of the biggest Joel Embiid fans. This game, I mean, coming into this game with the appendix surgery, I mean, with the appendix injury, playing through it and scoring the eight first baskets for the Sixers and against the Celtics. So this guy is one of the most talented players, one of the biggest what if players. If he could stay healthy, man, who knows what he could have been. But seeing him in a new destination, I think it's time. Especially if you're going to move on from the head coach, just being able to count on solely on Maxi and VJ. I mean, they stepped up big against Boston in Boston Garden. These dudes were played at an extremely high level, and that could be the ceiling. Those are the two guys you need to build around. Those are the future. And you could get a nice, a decent haul for Joel, probably. Not
Something.
as what you were going to get before if you traded him 2 years ago, but something decent. Porzingis would be a better fit. I like that. Do you think Nick Nurse needs to be fired?
Not necessarily. Unless there's something out there that you can get that's better, which is there? I don't really know. I don't think so. I mean, you got maybe Steve Kerr out there, but if Steve Kerr don't coach for the Warriors, he's just not gonna coach anywhere. He's not just gonna bounce around. Taylor Jenkins might have been a good addition, but he's with Milwaukee now, so
Yeah, that would have been a good
which
coach.
which makes me think Giannis might stay as well.
Very interesting.
Why would you
uh,
take that job? That's one of the worst jobs because you don't know Giannis's future. So maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah, maybe he's already talking to Giannis. Maybe they're planning some shit behind the scenes to get another guy in the building. So yeah, Nick Nurse, I think he's a good coach, but this Sixers shit hasn't panned out. Daryl Morey, I think he needs to go too. He's had some
Mhm.
like nice pickups, but roster management, selling Jared McCain because you think you're selling high is kind of crazy. Some of the decisions. James Harden never should have left the building with Philly too. Him and Embiid and Maxey, that would have been a nice trio. They could have done something with getting Paul George, that being a complete shit show at the beginning. I mean, still kind of is now. Yeah, it's just been a flurry of bad moves. So Philly, I think this is a team that has a big shakeup this next offseason.
Absolutely.
Staking with the East, you're sold on the Celtics making it out of the East.
Yeah, I'm
Who's their
very
biggest
sold.
contender? Biggest threat right now?
They don't have one. I would say the
That's what I'm thinking
Pistons.
too.
I would say the Pistons because of the physicality, but the Pistons don't. I don't know if they can get past the Magic. I said this probably a month ago before the playoffs even started. I said the Pistons' downfall is they don't have a second option. Duren isn't a second option. You can't give him the ball and say take him to the promised land. There aren't that many big men in the NBA that can do that. Like you have your Joel, your Jokic, your ADs, your Wemby's. Duren is not one of those guys where you just give him the ball and say go get a bucket. He needs someone to assist him. K can't do it all alone. He needs a second option. He doesn't have one. Whereas the Celtics, they got it all. They got first option, second option. They got defense. They shoot 53s a game. They got coaching staff. And
Missoula's
they got
a
playoff
beast.
experience. Yeah, they got it all.
And seeing Missoula sometimes, like he's a psycho, and then to end the half, he fouls Drummond, and then he gets like an opportunity to get Pritchard at the free throw line before the half ends, and you're thinking they're up a lot, but it's just like He's always locked in. He's always thinking a step ahead. So yeah, Missoula's done a great job with Boston. And yeah, they are a deep team. I do worry some games they will lose because let's say if Tatum or Brown they're struggling, there's really no other guy that's gonna, match that production on a consistent basis. Pritchard had a great game the last game, but the game Philly won, Derek White had 9 points, and that was it for the rest of the Celtics, you know what I mean? So there are some games where their, supporting cast can fall short. So I think they'll get through the East, but I'll take whoever comes out the West over 'em. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So,
good to watch. We'll see.
yeah, has your finals pick changed? I know you had Denver, Boston.
Absolutely. My final pick has changed. Denver is not going to the finals. I'll save my final pick for the end, but I do still have the Celtics coming out of the East.
Okay, I like that. I respect that. Um, let's finish up before you get to your finals pick. With some Bulls talk. Billy Donovan's no longer the head coach. They're moving on from him. Who could you see sliding in as a Bulls head coach? Who, if you want to get back into being a Bulls fan, locking in with this team, who would be your guy at head coach? It's a tough question, I
I
know.
would like to I would like to see Sam Cassell in that spot, man.
Okay,
Sam Cassell, he sat on the bench in Philly. He sat on the bench with the Celtics. He was one of the great players of our generation when I was like a kid, at least. He created the big ball Selly pause. He's a player's coach. Everybody respects him and knows him in the league, and I think he'd be a really good addition. He hasn't had an opportunity of being a coach. I would just want him to be set up for success and not
like
treated
a
like,
failure, yeah.
yeah, because the Bulls' job is going to be a project. It's not going to be a 1 or 2 year thing. It's going to be a long term haul. I would like to see him treated how to what's the coach in Utah's name?
Will Hardy?
Will Hardy. Will Hardy, I mean, he's been the coach for like 4 or 5 years. He's been losing record every year. They just gave him an extension, because they know that the roster is bad. So I would want Sam Cassell to be treated that way too.
Yeah, I like Sam Cassell. That's a good option. Tiago Splitter, if he's not able to stay with the Trailblazers, that's another option I like with how he's been able to, turn this thing around in Portland, them to reach their ceiling. They had a pretty good roster, some really good defenders, good players on that team too. Was able to, get the most out of those guys. I think that's somebody to look out for. Steve Kerr, could you see him come to the Bulls? Probably not. You don't want to be on a rebuilding team.
No, there's if like I said, if he leaves the Warriors, he'll be done coaching. And if he isn't done coaching, he ain't taking the Bulls job. He's not. He
Yeah.
wants to win. He ain't. That's not a. You're not gonna win with the Bulls right now.
What do you think this is an attractive job? I mean, 2 top 15 picks, and some decent young talent.
It's an attractive job because of the market. It's the Chicago
Big
Bulls,
ass
like
market, yeah.
really big market, top 3 market in the NBA, maybe top 4 market in the NBA right now. Um, and they've been losing team for a little while, and they're still a top market. The talent is not the best. You can say top 15 pick all you want, but we don't know what pick that is. If you get 15, is that helpful? You get 14, is that really helpful? You really need like a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Um, Not the most attractive job in the NBA by any means, no.
Yeah, there are
But
some
good city
others.
though.
Yeah,
Great city though.
and
The best,
if you win, the city gonna get behind you. This is
like
a
Iceman,
supportive franchise still. People are gonna come to the games. It's always good when the Bulls are good too, but when they're
always.
a playing team, it gets repetitive, it gets tiring. Watching the playoffs, I feel like we're constantly reminded or watching, yeah, basketball in general, we're constantly reminded of a Bulls failure. You think the Bulls should have kept Io? I wanted to keep Io or Kobe White, one of the two, and look at both of them.
Should they have kept Io or should they have kept Kobe? Maybe, sure. It's not necessarily should they have kept them, it's should they have got something better for
Yeah.
them.
Got a bag of chips for bro.
I think you got a second round pick for Kobe White. Like, I think you coulda got something better for that. You got Rob Dillingham for Io. If Rob Dillingham was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, he would not even be playing in this series
A
right
lot of
now.
high fives and shit.
He wouldn't even be playing. But Io is not only playing, he's the best player on the team right now.
43 points, yeah.
Yeah, and he had, I believe, a dub before that. So like Io's been playing really well. So yeah, they probably should have kept him if they was gonna get Rob Dillingham back. That's what I would say.
It's tough, yeah, because like you see a whole thing too, a whole trend. Players that leave Chicago, it's like their shackles are released from them, and they get to the best version of themselves. Laurie, has been an elite scorer with Utah. You Kobe White, trick shot and with the Hornets, shooting 39% from three for them this season. And then Io, big stage. Wendell Carter Jr. even
Wendell
providing decent minutes for the Magic, starting center for them. Somebody we could have used this season, a center. So it's just crazy to see. Is that how bad the Bulls franchise is?
when Pat Williams get traded, is he gonna become an all-star too?
Probably not.
No? Okay.
He's an exception, I guess, to the rule. Um, but yeah, it's some crazy some things to think about with the Bulls. Should be an interesting offseason for us. But what's a hot take for the week you got?
Hot take of the week. I got the Celtics coming out the East, right?
Okay.
You know who that matchup gonna be against the Celtics?
No. Who? Elaborate.
LeBron James
Oh,
and them Lakers. They're going to the finals.
historic series, bro.
No Jalen Williams with OKC. That is huge. People forget, like, Jalen Williams could have been the Finals MVP last year in the NBA Finals. He was that good for them. He's been that good for them his entire career. If Luka can come back and play game 1 and be 85%, give me the
Scared.
Lakers over OKC in 6 games, and I mean that with my heart. I
Six
really do.
games.
6 games, dude, look, the role players, all-time high confidence right now. Marcus Smart playing with crazy confidence. I ain't never seen Rui miss a mid-range in my life. Luke Kennard is having the best
Triple
stretch of
doubles and shit.
basketball of his NBA career right now. Hell, DeAndre Ayton he caught a couple balls yesterday, pause. He ain't been able to catch the basketball all year. Yesterday, in 20-some minutes, he had 19 and 10 and got ejected. Jackson Hayes been playing with crazy confidence. This team with Luka and AR, they can compete with OKC and take them to 6 games, and I think pull it off because of no Jalen Williams. If they had Jalen Williams, I wouldn't be saying that.
And yeah, I think that's Lakers fully healthy, like ready to go. That's a matchup nightmare for OKC. They have the size to hit them with it, and they have like the role players. I think their role players could play better than OKC in that series. And yeah, it's gonna be a series that I need to see. So I'm not going to put it down. Well, the inexperience with the Spurs, and then Minnesota's going to be hobbled in that series. No DiVincenzo if they're able to move past the Spurs. So yeah, I take the Lakers over those two teams right now if it's fully healthy. So it's not crazy at all.
No J Will, man. Anything can
Jay
happen.
will. For me, I'll probably say my finals pick. I'll probably stick to Minnesota and Boston. I still believe in Minnesota. I still believe in Rudy Gobert. He hasn't let me down. Jaden McDaniels, he'll average 20 against the Spurs to keep him afloat.
And what I say, if he averaged 20, then they gonna
They're gonna
win.
win that series. He hasn't averaged 20 versus Denver, but they still gonna win the series because the dog mindset. Jokic
He
might
playing with
crash out one more
confidence.
time. We need to get his ass
He
ejected again.
he playing with confidence, man. He's playing with confidence.
But yeah, so should be an interesting rest of the round one and on to the next series. We're gonna break it down game by game, give you predictions, give you our analysis by that. But that's all we got for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, 6 Man Blitz and Chi-Town Blitz. Check out the social medias. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. As always, peace. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.